Trigger warning for anyone with emetophobia, for anyone who hates chewing noises.
This episode might not be for you, but please listen
Please
regardless.
skip 2 minutes. We'll update you later.
Hi, I'm checking in.
I'm checking in
To the past,
future,
future,
and present.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Get your friend that matches your vibe.
Morning.
Morning.
A ungodly hour today.
It's not.
no,
It sounds like we're here at 4 a.m.
No, I know. It's a nice time, but like unusual for our podcast recording. It's time for everything.
Yes.
Today I have food again. My bestie. Okay, so let me explain what it is. It's sort of like mashed potatoes, but they're not like mashed, with apple, with muscat, and
What's
with
musket?
it's a nut.
Okay.
And the other thing I don't have are the onions, the rolled ones. Sorry.
Don't worry.
And then you got an egg on top of it because that's what's in the recipe, but I don't like this kind of egg, so
You didn't have one.
no, just have the
Okay.
potato.
Taste test.
Thank you.
Is it okay if I put a little bit more salt?
Sure.
Salt ASMR. Hold up.
I'm gonna do the moderation then. Today we will be talking about internships picked by Emi. I pick, or by coincidence, anyways, but still. You do the piece of paper. Potato apple stump. Right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with my internship experiences. Only like really two, so you can eat in the meantime.
Really?
Internships did you have?
7.
What?
Mm-hmm.
School?
1 in my first school, 2 in the other school, and 3 apprenticeship.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Only had 2. One school, which was first one in 2015, which was at the local theater for a week
Mm-hmm.
because we had to do an obligatory internship, just like you did as well, probably.
Mm-hmm.
It was in, let me see, 10th grade, I think. Yeah, probably. It was first time being back at the theater after 5 years because I stopped with the project in 2010. So basically, I knew everything already, but I was sort of like a director's assistant. But I didn't really do, honestly, the stuff that I did was like make coffee. And I do remember one time where I was soloist. It was a very small play in terms of personnel. We only had 6 people singing, and there were no extras or no choir or anything. So it was those 6 people. And I remember being one of the people who was there the earliest, and I was making them coffee, and I went down and like 8.
Intern jobs.
Yeah. And it was like 8 in the morning, and everyone was clapping because I brought them coffee. Because apparently
Aw.
the coffee machine didn't work the day prior. I don't really remember. But yeah, when I learned how to do filter coffee. And I was watching rehearsals, and actually we 2 did meet up on my last day of the internship. Yeah, in school. And you were finished earlier, like around 12. And I was waiting in the city tower where the Cafe Divan is. And I was waiting there because it was cold outside. Maybe even for your birthday. I think it must have been maybe even for your birthday,
Really?
actually, now that I remember. I was waiting in the city tower, and then the police came because they saw me sitting there, and they thought, child sitting in the tower, not a place for me to be in. And then they like waved me outside, and then I like came outside, and I was like, yeah. And they were like, what you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm just waiting for a friend. They were like, not have school? Like, you're not allowed to be in this tower, and like, this is not a waiting era. And I was like, fine, I'll wait outside in the cold.
But you say that you had an internship and that's why you're not at school currently.
Rebellious. I was like, I have school.
So you'd rather be rebellious and wait outside than tell them what
No,
they're
I
not?
mean, it didn't make a difference. Even if I would have told them I'm currently on like an internship, they would have said I cannot wait in there because it's not a waiting area. Yeah, police. Love them.
Yeah, you're so salty with the police.
Yeah, and then my second one was, and this is actually insane, literally 10 years later, in 2025, so last year.
Way.
Yeah. So the next one is going to be in 2035. And this one was for university, so it was obligatory as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was at a hotel in Corfu. It was 6 weeks of working as a waiter and 6 weeks of working as an e-concierge. Luckily, I could change because the waiter job was brutal, studious. Like oh my fucking god. I have worked in this sector, like restaurants, gastronomy, whatever you want to call it, since 2019. So 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Anything like in a hotel. Never. It was insane. But it was a very, very, very formative experience.
Use code Leo for 10%.
I would never do advertising for this hotel. Never. Never. Yeah, it was a very formative experience and I don't regret it at all.
Mm.
If it was like hard, difficult, and there were like, especially in the beginning days where I was like leaving, everything's like horrible, not at all. Literally, probably like maybe even the best decision I made in my 20s.
I think you learned a lot. I think you realized a lot. Ooh, the sun is like hitting on you as if you're Jesus. Now talking about
Actually,
realization.
in 2008, I did think for a while that I was like the son of Jesus, and I'm
No
like
fucking way.
chosen. I
Okay.
was very religious. That's when I was like doing the communion preparations.
I was also very religious, but I didn't think I was Mariah. Very.
How far along are you with your food?
Almost done.
Okay, fake. Because I'm like my experiences.
You back. I take over. Okay. Look at this in chronological order. My first internship was also either 9th or 10th grade. And I did it at my mom's. She's a speech therapist. And I think the internship was either for 1 or for 2 weeks. I think it was during one of the breaks. I think maybe Easter holiday or something like that. It was a lot of fun. I had so much fun. And it didn't feel like she pampered me. She was like, oh, she's my daughter. What? It was a legit internship. And so much fun. I learned so much. I learned so much about my mom's work, what it entails to be a speech therapist. Also, it's only 2 weeks, so I'm not going to see the full spectrum of what it's like, but I definitely got a good grip. Then, after that, I switched school, and there were 2 mandatory internships that you had to do in the first year, and it was dependent on what you specialized in. And specialized in social sciences. Yeah. And this year or the year before, a new specialty opened up, and it was health sciences. So for that, we all got the opportunity to go to hospital and stuff, but because health sciences came out, they did hospitals. So that was sad. The first internship I had was in the kindergarten. I looked back the other day. It was for 2 months in total. It wasn't like 8 weeks full on, but we had internships, school. Basically, the first year we had like that. It was half school, half internships. I hated it. I was in one group were basically 2 women. One was for education and the other one was for like taking care of. It's difficult to explain, but they both were like bosses of that group. They were really nice. They were lovely. Period. I didn't hate it because the children were awful or anything, but it was not for me. My job, do the job. I did the job, but it was not for me, and it's not for the weak. Oh my god. And I mean, they were lovely children and they were so cute, but they're also demons. Crazy how early children adopt behavior from their parents and let it out. It is insanity. That was definitely an experience. But after that, I had to do another internship for school, and I was in a senior residence, and that was like 180 shit. I loved it. I had so much fun. Also, I did the internship with a friend of mine, which is so much better. With Sam,
Who are non-kindergarten?
That's crazy. Another one. And it was also for 2 months, again with breaks and stuff. But there were some people that we started during those internships because you could either go into taking care of the elderly people physically, like literally washing them stuff, or taking care of them basically emotionally. And we had a choice. And we said we do like give food, play with them, talk with them, spend time with them. And we did do the physical taking care part for 1 week. And since then, I have so much respect for anyone in that field. Whoa.
Yeah,
It's a
insanity.
lot. But also, I can see, like, I was with a lot of different people, and some of them were really gentle and also talked with them. It depends on the person you're taking care of. But I remember one that traumatized me. Oh my God. She was not gentle whatsoever. She was just like, this is a job. I'm going to strip you naked. I'm going to wash you. And the person was screaming. Like screaming. And it was not the kind of scream you know from kids when they're like, I don't want this. But it was like traumatizing and like I don't know if she was also maybe confused of what is happening. Oh my God, that hurt my heart. That hurt my soul. After that day, I said I'm not gonna do that anymore, and I didn't do full week, I think, and I went back to the other department basically. Well, like of course it is a tough job, but it's a job with people. Yeah, that was crazy, but after the internship, I never went back again because I was too scared to know which people died. And I swear to God, my life, I was never screwed over this badly than I have when I was in this internship, when I played games with the elderly. Oh God. The things they did. There is one game. I think it also exists in English because I think it does. The one where you walk like this. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's called something like
Yeah.
that.
Anyway, you have to like walk in basically like a cross shape.
Yeah.
And one of the I always said that they were grandmas and grandpas. One of the grandmas didn't walk in the cross shape, but just skipped over. Walked in a straight line. I was
Just
like,
because she wanted to win, or
yeah, of course. And I was like, that's how you play the game. You have to walk in the shape of the cross. And she was like, I always play like that. I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, okay, cool. Then I'm gonna do the same. And I walked over and she was like, no. It was crazy.
That's so cute, though.
But it was so much fun. It was so cute. We had a great view. It was amazing. We had a lot of fun. We did a lot of activities with them. We organized a bunch. And we always had like coffee and tea. We then got the responsibility of also the food and stuff. It was a lot of fun. And it taught me so much of how to take care of confused older people as well.
Was it 8 hours?
I'm sure it was. I could even go back and look at the times because I have the whole script. We had to write down every day what we did and how many hours we worked. In kindergarten, it wasn't because the kindergarten closed at 3, but otherwise we would have had to work. So in the kindergarten, I worked 6.5 to 7.5 hours, I think, per day. But I think the senior residence was 8 hours, but I'm not 100% sure. Also, for all of the internships, I didn't get any money. The first one, to be fair, was when I was in school, and the other two were also when I was in school.
I mean, schooling
So,
ships.
of course, it was like it's hard labor. It wasn't easy, and it was also for 2 months each. But I understand that we didn't get paid because that is the crucial, like that is an obligatory experience that you have to go through when you enter this specific type of school. And honestly, if they would have paid every intern,
That would be insane.
yeah,
I mean,
and that every year,
It's not the school that has to pay, though. I mean, it would be the
the
the companies. Yeah, still, of course.
don't have the
And you don't-
resources for that.
And you don't actually have like requirements yet because you're school.
I did have to like give them a sheet that says that I didn't have any criminal activity and stuff.
Yeah, of
But
course. yeah.
again,
Can you believe that my criminal record is still clean?
I
Just a quick fun.
and the paper.
Right. Yeah. Then absolutely. Yeah, of course. Of course.
So then, a few years later, I started an apprenticeship, and we also have mandatory internships. One I did at my mom's again, but this one, I'm gonna be honest, also I never finished the apprenticeship, so it's not a problem. And I think my teacher also knew. I didn't really do the internship, but my mom signed the papers. That was
Scandalous.
no, that was
Oh
like
my God.
super close to me quitting anyway, and the teacher already knew that I was quitting. So there was no point in doing that internship when I knew I didn't want to do the job.
So what did you do instead? Just chill?
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked my teacher, honestly. I think I asked my teacher if that was okay, and I asked my mom as well. They were both like, yeah, it doesn't make sense, but it is obligatory. I had to do the internship still, even though I left, I think, 2 weeks after that. So it didn't make any sense. But before that, I had 2 other internships. One was at the ENT. I think that was only for a week or max 2. Loved it. So much fun. There were doctors. One I didn't like, one I loved. I still, whenever somebody has an ENT problem today, I recommend them this doctor. And I still go to this doctor. He's great. He was empathetic. He was professional. He was perfect. And I had a lot of fun work there. And they included me in everything. They guided me through the stuff. And it was really interesting because we had audiology before that in school. So I knew the theories and then I could see them in practice. And that was so interesting.
I feel like it's also very interesting that you did all these like 6 first internships
Mm-hmm.
in like health, social.
Yes. Yeah. I could see so many different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now you're doing like something completely different.
Yeah, I was like, this is great. I'm never going to do this in my life.
But that's what internships are for, though.
Yeah,
That you get an insight and you're like, okay, do I want to pursue
Yeah.
this or not?
The thing is, every job or internship I've had so far was with people. Honestly, I think I've had 10 years of experience just working with people. I don't want to. No, thank you. I'm done. Social sciences, social work, I think is super interesting, super fun. I love it. But the pay you get, in Germany at least, is not reflecting the work and the stress you have.
Yeah.
For example, senior residents, you see people dying almost every day and you just have to go home and you're like, wow, today's my day off. Da-da-da-da. No, it's like that. Again, with children, you see
Children dying every
maybe-
day.
you could see how children get abused by their parents.
Yeah.
And you have to do something. Like, it's not a job where you can just turn off your laptop or turn off your brain after work and chill. Again, speech therapy is the same. Like, the people you see, you meet, like, have stroke patients and stuff. It's not possible to not let that affect you. So I have so much respect for everyone who does it and chooses to do that every day.
Yeah.
I just wish they would get paid more and get appreciated more. The last internship I did, I actually don't know how to say that in English. So it's the people you go to when you need a hearing aid. It was in the same building as the ENT and they're working closely together. But when people need a hearing aid, of course, first they need to do a hearing test. Then you go there for the hearing aid. And I loved it. So much fun. There was an apprentice there as well for that job and we connected and it was so great. But again, I wouldn't do that job. But it was super interesting of like the new technologies and how small it could be and different types. And they gifted me one. I still have it upstairs. That was all my school apprentice internships. And when I went to university, I had one obligatory internship abroad, which was not allowed to be in a German-speaking country. I was looking for for
You
months.
sent like 100 applications. Yeah.
But it's so hard because you haven't finished university. All of my internships were in social sciences and I was in business and economics. So it was like, well, it doesn't matter. We don't care about those. I also worked before, but it was also not really...
Not economics based.
No, not at all. I didn't find one in time. So I had to take one more term for university because of that.
But meant we could finish together, which was kind of nice.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But at the time, I was so mad. Everything has its own timing. Everything's fine. Everything worked out so well. The last internship I had was the longest one. It was for 6 months and it was in the UK. I found it through an agency, an internship agency in the UK. So for anyone looking for similar internships, I can suggest that you look for agencies
Yeah.
because
Got
it's
mine from an
so
agency as
hard
well,
to
yeah.
do that by yourself. And also just look in your university's website of all the internships that they offer, because maybe they had internships from the same university prior, so they're more likely to take you. At first, I was not really interested in the topic, but once I started, I loved it. I loved it. I loved my team. There was one more intern who was there for 1 month who taught me. We were a small team. We were all girls until the new intern came that I taught. He was the first guy. And it was so much fun. So much fun.
And you got to go to London sometime for it. I think it's very, very cool.
That was so cool. I felt like I had a big girl job. Felt so cool. I swear the first weeks and months, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna like dress up and put makeup on. The ending months, I was like, oh, I don't get to wear my sweatpants. Should I just wear my sweatpants? The only reason I didn't was because of the train seats. I didn't want to get it dirty because I only had one pair of sweatpants. I was in a shared house. In total, we were 7 and we had the best time ever. So there was another German intern who, funnily enough, lived opposite of my room, literally half a meter away. We both were there for the exact same time and for the same position, like almost the same company. That was crazy, and we had so much fun. It was just the best time ever.
I feel like especially with experiences abroad, or like in this case internships abroad, it's really the people that you meet there. And
Absolutely.
I'm not even gonna say like necessarily the people at work, but also like the people that you live with, which in your case are not the same people. I mean, in my case, it sort of was the same people. I mean, they were all in this hotel, but like in different sectors.
Honestly, I was so glad that they were working somewhere else, because you just have different circles then.
Yeah.
I think if you still live together, you can't really turn off work. And also, what if something happens at home and then you're pissed at the person, but you have to work with them and you have to be professional? Like, I don't know. I just
I'm
loved
so
how
glad
it
that
turned
didn't
out.
happen to me. Oh my God.
Yeah. And I also met my boyfriend there. We're in the same house. It's so funny because I think we would have never met.
Of course not.
Because we both didn't leave the house. So it's literally the only way.
I remember you calling me in the beginning a bunch of times and you were like, yeah, I'm going by myself in the park.
Oh, that was so much fun though.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
They always ask me, oh, where were you? And I was like, oh, I just went for a stroll. I went to the park, like brought some food. And they asked, by yourself? And I was like, yeah. I don't know. It's not weird for me. And I'm very used to doing things by myself. Like, I also travel by myself almost everywhere. You're the only person you're spending your entire life with, so you should be happy with yourself and spending time with yourself. That doesn't mean that you have to stay lonely.
No, of course
but
not. Yeah.
I think it's very important, and it taught me a lot.
You get like
They wanted to keep me, but to finish uni. I was sad.
Mine also wanted to keep me, which is so funny because they hated me.
That's interesting, but you were like always do your work so well.
To be
You're
fair,
so
my
responsible.
department wanted to keep me, but they fired my department manager 2 days before I left.
Again, Jod.
Then
Did you tell me that? Did I just forget?
You just forgot.
Okay.
So basically on Saturday was his last day, and I worked on Saturday, and on Sunday we all met as a like team and basically said goodbye to this like manager. And then on Tuesday, and my last day was Monday. And I even remember that on Sunday evening, because at this hotel you always got the schedule for the next week 15 minutes before the week technically started, so at like 11 p.m. on Sunday, and I saw it must have been like
Greece organization
9 or even 10 p.m. on Sunday, and I saw the schedule and I wasn't on schedule for the following week, and I still had technically 1 day, which was the Monday, because that was the 30th of June. And I texted the manager immediately and was like, please let me work. I want to have this last day, because I wanted to say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah,
and it would have been so weird if on the day I had no idea it would have been last day, and then I just don't come into work anymore. And I was like, literally, please, I need to work. I want to work. And I remember the message was like, I think I still have it, but she was like, that has never ever happened before, that someone wants to work. I was like, no, please, you don't understand. I need to work.
I think they were just like, sure.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
I mean, I come into it was the most chill shift that I had because they already had
Because they didn't
my
need
substitute.
you. Yeah.
So basically, I taught my substitute everything he needs to know, even though he already worked at this hotel for 3 months, just like me,
Mhm.
in sector, but for the standard guests, not for the deluxe
Yes.
guests. So he basically knew everything already. And then I'm literally just checking stuff for fun, sorta, and checking in on guests that I was technically not supposed to check in on, but like no one else was doing it anyway. So
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
oh, it was the most fun shift. And then I left and I was like, bye, losers. All right, we're going to take a short break, I think.
Yeah. Time for a drink. We're talking about hot chocolate, just in case somebody's wondering.
And we're back. All right, we talked about our individual experiences, and now we're going to discuss a few things and like share our opinions. First of all, internship in Germany versus abroad. They are different just because countries are different. I feel that's sort of like,
Yeah, a given.
of course. I feel like German internships are better organized, at least compared to the other countries that, I mean, it's kind of hard to say because
You're comparing Germany to Greece, you know?
yeah, I'm
That
comparing.
is so different.
Yes, and you're comparing German internships to one UK internship. So it's like with one abroad experience each. But yeah, Greece in general, it's like very different work-wise.
Yeah.
Because in Greece, like all the other people that were not interning but were working full-time, they had to work 6 days. 6 days, 8 hours, and half an hour break. So it's completely fine per law. Like that's normal. Greek people in general, they work. For example, in Egypt, if you work in hotels, they work 7 days a week. For I think 4 months, and then they have 1
That's
or 2 weeks
crazy.
off, and then they come back, and then again 4 months. 7 days a week. And then they basically. But I feel like if you're abroad, just because you're abroad, you're already learning so much more than compared to when you're in Germany.
Yeah.
Because you're not just learning your job, you're also learning how to deal with people from other cultures, which you
Yeah.
do not really have in Germany. I might be like one person who's like not from the
In
around area.
like normal standard internships,
Yeah.
it's rarely the case,
Yes.
I'd say. Yeah.
In that sense, I loved my internship abroad. So many people from like around the, I don't say globe, but like from around Europe. But yeah, they're very poorly organized, like literally. And also the housing situation. Let me go into the
Crap.
grave, but like, oh my fucking God. How are the living conditions for human beings? Well, we sometimes actually did make the joke of like, we should commit crimes just so that we can get thrown into jail because at least in jail we get decent food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and warm water.
Oh yeah, and warm water because that was also not a given
Yeah.
on an island in Ku. I
Where it
might
was
add.
like 40 degrees,
I mean, I was there in April, but still.
30 degrees. No, yeah. Well, the thing is, I was in the UK and
Also
an
in the-
established company, so they were well organized.
Well, my company is also established, but that didn't.
That's sad. They were very well organized, and I think the experience I made is it doesn't depend on the company also, but for me it just depended on the people. Because I had internships in that were so small and sometimes so big. For example, the senior residence, it was huge. The worst organization I've seen. So badly. We were interns. We took the organization to the next level. Not organization, but like organizing.
Yeah.
And we started organizing everything. But then at the hearing aid place, it's small. You know how tiny it is. Perfect organization. But the UK, so big. Responsibility. All of Europe in one team, in a few people. Every person is one department. So well organized. My first ever job. Big company. Worst organization. Worst leadership. The team leader and the team makes a huge impact. But I think even if the team and the team leader are great and the company doesn't give the opportunities for that great organizing, it won't be possible.
Yeah.
But that's just my experience.
Internships also have this like sort of reputation of are they paid, are they not paid, in what way are they paid. The one in Germany that we both did, all of them were not paid. I'm technically, were your apprenticeship internships paid? No, also not.
I got money for doing the apprenticeship, and it was standard
Yeah.
money per month.
Yeah.
And even if I did an internship for that month, I still got the money.
Yeah.
So,
So,
technically, it's paid.
But it's from the person that is employing you at the
Mm-mm.
internship.
No.
But the ones abroad, we were paid in housing, which honestly, I mean, you were in the UK. It's expensive to have a house there, or a flat there, or a room there.
I mean,
And-
it wasn't fancy whatsoever, but I
No.
was very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same with me in
And
Greece.
you.
Like, I didn't have to pay for housing.
Yeah.
So that was already such a big bonus. And also, you could eat at the cafeteria every day, which, I mean,
Got it.
I remember we
Your
called the
face says it all.
I remember we called the scrambled eggs, or like at least I did, alien eggs because they were everything but not scrambled eggs.
Oh, I don't want to know.
My roommate, she always put so much salt on it, and I was like,
So she can't taste the shit anymore.
Yeah, literally. She had salt for breakfast. No, also, like one friend, the friend from Italy, she had so many stomach issues because of the food. Sometimes she would literally just not eat. And like,
Ooh.
oh, it is PM. You need to eat. And you're like, don't want to. But do you think that internships should pay their interns?
I think it depends on the situation.
Yeah, on the duration.
I want to say that as well. Yeah.
If you have a 1 month internship and you're not getting paid, I'm like, you're getting paid with your
Exactly.
It's
I
just
would
1 month.
say above 4 or 6 weeks. Like if more than that, you should get paid. And
Yeah.
usually interns are still paid so few.
Yeah, so scarce.
So scarce. Thank you. I was like, where's this sentence going? So for example, the internship I wanted to do here would have been 1,000 per month. And I think it would have been full time. Nothing. Think about it. Oh, again,
Before taxes or
1,000?
after taxes?
I don't know. I think before taxes.
Ooh, no, that's like... ooh.
Exactly. But it's still money, you know?
Yeah.
But
I mean, also depending how long would this internship be. If
Yeah.
it's a month and you get paid 1,000 for a month, okay, take the money.
yeah. I think the way we had it was also a good alternative.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
To be reimbursed for it. Like I had a place to live. I still had to pay for food and stuff, but you have to look for a place in a different country. That already takes so much pressure. Because imagine you have an internship, but you can't find a place.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell do you
Yeah.
do? And they reimbursed me for traveling costs. So I had to go to the office twice a week. Once in the town
Oh, you
where
mean
I
for
lived.
the trains,
Yes.
not for coming to the UK.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Sorry. And that was already a lot. Like for London, it cost me 30 or 40 euros per
Pounds.
week. No euros. I had it in euros.
Oh, okay.
I think 34 or 38. If you sum that up, like times 24, that is a lot. But yeah, I was happy that they did that, and it was a no-brainer for them, which is crazy because in Germany you still kind of have to not fight, but it's not a no-brainer in Germany that they pay for your traveling expenses.
Yeah.
Like I went to the interview and they didn't pay for the traveling expenses.
But I feel like in general, abroad, you have a bit more benefits as someone coming
That
from
is
another
so
country.
True.
Like if you're in Greece and doing a Greek internship, same
Gives a
thing.
shit.
But if you're from another country coming to the UK, to Greece, you get a
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
bit more benefits because they
Yeah.
love outsiders in terms of like workforce for
Yeah,
internships.
and you have a lot more.
Thank you to the EU at this point because this is all EU policy stuff.
I went to the UK after.
After well, that's on the UK actually.
So I
That's-
had to pay for a visa,
yeah.
which wasn't very cheap. Shout outs, but at least I got EU funding for the
Yeah.
internship.
Oh yeah, that also.
I was so lucky that my university did that. It depended on the university back then. I think it does, but I think now they have to do it again for the UK. I think it's now officially across the EU.
Could be. 100%.
Not
No,
entirely sure.
Yeah, no, you're right. They rejoined this sort of like agreement.
The program, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
I think it's already in effect. Might be since the winter semester,
I'm not sure.
or might be the coming summer semester.
I'm sure, but
yeah.
I think so, yeah. We're students, we're interns. You give us one benefit and we're like, wow!
Yeah.
So It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Even if it's just the food that you get when you're in the office or
Even if it's
free
disgusting.
coffee,
Even if it's disgusting.
it's still free. Like, just give us something. Because in Germany, I feel like most normal internships are not reimbursed.
Mm.
And when you do an internship because you can't do anything else,
It
because you
might be
don't
for
have the
people
experience,
from abroad, though.
how can you survive?
Yeah.
For people from the money?
Like if a French person's
reimbursement?
coming to Germany to do an internship, they might have a bit more benefit. I don't know,
I don't know.
but it could be because it is the same.
I think
in-
there are hardly any English-speaking internships in Germany, to be honest.
Okay,
Tell me
blow
one.
your mind.
Tell me one.
Oh no, they like for example, he's technically Russia living in Germany, so he doesn't count because
He's doing a master on the best university in Germany in
Listen,
a topic that is
listen.
so difficult. Of course,
yes.
he's gonna get
No,
internships.
no. I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about the people he works with.
Okay.
All of their interns, and literally, I mean, all of their interns are from abroad.
Well, what is the company? You know,
Oh.
it's probably either an English-speaking company or an international company.
International 100%.
But usually, they have to speak some sort of German when they're here. I have no idea.
And then also, if I'm gonna be real honest about Greece, the working language was supposed to be English.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were in a mainly Greek team, they would just talk in Greek and you would not understand a single thing. Like in a restaurant, for example, I did have like the main manager of the restaurant was Greek and the assistant manager probably, he was American and Greek,
Mm-hmm.
or at least he could talk English and Greek. And he was the only person who sometimes, when like the main manager was talking in Greek the whole time, which I'm like, English is the working language. What the fuck are you
As a
talking Greek for?
manager,
Yeah, no. And his English was
that's a no-go.
these two.
Well, at least you understood a little bit.
Right. So, but I'm like, yeah, that was like crisis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine. But I'm surprised that it was such a like luxurious hotel and such a good one, and it was so trashy.
Oh my god.
Well,
yeah,
I guess
it's
that's
insane.
how they get their money.
Yeah,
Cheap labor.
and corruption. Do you think it should be part of the school and or uni curriculum to do an internship? I'm gonna say straight up,
Yes.
yes, for both.
I think for school, it's good if it's shorter. 2 weeks is decent.
Yeah,
But for university, 1 semester, I think is good.
yeah.
If you go to colleges in Germany, usually you have to do an internship before you start. I don't know if you knew that. So you have to do an internship. You can also, like, if you did an internship a few months ago or something, you can say, hey, I did that, and they will accept it. But usually you have to do an internship before you start.
I didn't know.
So there you can already see that it's more practically focused.
Yeah. Wait, because if you're studying something for let's say 6 semesters and then you do an internship and you're like low-key hated it,
Yeah.
that's why if you are studying to become a teacher, for example, you have like multiple internships during the study program.
Yeah.
Makes sense because if you go there and you're like, oh, I don't like to work with kids, then probably teaching is not for you. And as someone who had teachers who don't like
Why did I
kids,
cover my eyes when I yawned? Brain malfunction.
it was a full yawn and we were like, and good night. It's very good that internships exist and during the school and
100%.
university curriculum.
Yes. For me, mine was pretty late, which has benefits. But also, if you then realize, oh, I don't want to do this,
Oh, you
then
for university?
it's pretty late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because mine was in my
Well, okay.
5th
Here's the difference though,
or
because
6th? 6th semester.
you were because college was very strict when it came to like what are you doing each semester. You had like a very strict study plan.
Yeah.
My university, basically, I mean, there is like a model plan of when you should what, but technically you can do it in your order that you were. So I feel like
I think that's usually
both
the
have
case with
advantages.
university versus college.
Yeah. I have the queen of CVs next to me.
That's not true.
What?
Putting so much pressure on me now.
What, in your opinion, does make a great CV for when you want to apply to an internship?
That's a problem. It depends on the country and it depends on the position and it depends on what you did.
I feel like internship positions are 80% the same position though. Of course, there are the 20% of like higher internships that come with more responsibility and stuff like that. But I feel like the 80% which I'm referring to now, they're all sort of the same and same.
Yeah, but how you write everything is also different. Like, not talking CV now, but cover letter. In Germany, you brag. You brag about yourself and you're so confident, you're overconfident. You're not saying, it would be nice to have a personal interview, but it's like, I look forward to speaking to you personally so I can show you my motivation.
That's how I approach my lawyer.
See, and that's normal in Germany. That's so normal. In the UK, you're doing it very gently and very, very kind, and you're doing it more passive. And also, all information, like in Germany, they want to know everything. You literally have to put your marital status on the CV, your birthday, your birthing place, everything, your address, your street.
I had to do this as well.
No. In for the UK, I just put the city, city and country.
Okay.
City, country, then my phone number and my email, and that was it. Germany, you have to know very specifically. Also, pictures for us are really, really common, and they're usually wanted. They're not mandatory, but they're usually positive. In the UK, you should never have a picture on your CV. You have to figure out what are the standards for which country, and I applied to so many different countries, so I had to learn all of that. It helps if you don't only state that I'm in the university, but if you don't have a lot of experience, show what you've learned at university.
Yeah, write the
Show what you've
courses,
learned
write what you're
anywhere.
specializing in.
Yes.
If you have like a seminar paper that was like awarded best seminar paper of class, some shit like that.
All of that is experience and all of that is good. If you literally don't have anything, take some courses. LinkedIn offers amazing courses. They're for free. Some of them take like 30, 45
This
minutes.
would be a great
Some of
time
them a
for
few
advertisement
hours.
in our podcast.
Yeah. Shit.
LinkedIn if you want to sponsor.
LinkedIn. But there's so many websites. I think Google also does a lot, and they give you legitimate certificates.
Yeah. Also, your university probably also
Yeah.
has some kind of like Excel, PowerPoint.
Yes.
Workshops.
Also write all of that. Write volunteering. Write anything that you did.
And if
Honestly,
you're someone who did like a lot,
confident.
then put in the stuff that's also fitting to the internship.
Yeah, only put in the relevant things.
Yeah.
Also ask friends, ask your family, ask anyone that could help you. Maybe even teachers. A lot of universities offer help.
Yeah. Just take advantage of everything that university is already doing, and then if you need more help, reach out to like other people, other friends, other communities.
Definitely. And if you're working with an agency, they will also give you like a little help, encouragement, and tell you this was good or this could be better.
You know what is crazy actually? You applied to over 100 internships. I have to 1.
Do you want to punch you in the face? Okay, let's go.
I mean, yours was better though, in terms of like work experience and in terms of like the overall experience. But yeah, I applied to literally 1. I was still picky, but
apparently not.
No, I mean, that's the thing with this workplace. Like on the surface, everything looked so insanely luxurious. I was like, I think
you couldn't believe it.
I think I'm not qualified for being there.
And then you came there and you
then
were
I was
like,
there and I was like,
overqualified.
I am overqualified for being there. Not in terms of like the work stress, because the stress was insane. Want to go on with your best experience or experiences?
On the internship?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just burped. Well, it is what it is. It's when I got my responsibility, because that's when I knew they trusted me and they believed in me. And that was also for the senior residence internship. I remember we weren't allowed to give the residents their meals, just coffee and cake. But after a while, like, we were in charge. These are like small steps, but this, like, they gave you 100,000 euros. That's how it felt at that point. And also with my latest internship, I had a project and I was like, oh wow, this is amazing. And it was difficult, like it was hard, but so much fun. And it also felt so good to be the person in charge and to be the person. I was not fully in charge. The team lead was still looking at everything and working with me for doing that, because you cannot let an intern just do something by themselves. But I was the person that did it. You know, I loved it. I felt so honored. I felt
really
so
rewarding.
seen.
Really rewarding.
Yes. Hopefully, I will start something where I will also have more responsibility of projects and the team and stuff. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. What's the most rewarding thing for you?
Honestly, I was thinking about it, and
Really?
very first internship, it was literally 4 days. It was supposed to be a week. It was literally 4
But
days.
wasn't it rewarding because you're still working in theater?
I've
in
been
that
working in
term?
theater since I was 8. And I was like, it's not rewarding when you're on the sidelines. It's more rewarding when you're on the stage
Mhm.
or like practicing for then being on a stage. Literally the theater internship, even though it was like very nice and I loved it, they're like not like an experience where I'm like, that I can say because I already knew everything.
Mhm.
And for the second internship, so working as a waiter, there is no good experience in that. I literally cannot
The
say.
friends, the
Listen,
people.
if I'm just talking about like the work
Okay.
itself, there's not a single good thing I can say. Literally not a single thing. I didn't learn anything that I didn't know before.
But didn't you see what you're capable of? Like,
I already knew that before.
and again, you can see which one of us is the pessimist.
But then for the second, like when I was econ searching, I remember we had this week where we were a very small team, and with very small, I mean like under 10 people. We were in charge for over 70 guests. I don't know exactly or was it over 70 rooms? And especially we only had 2 econ search people, so there were only 2 people who were full time on like the computer answering to guest requests. And there was one week where, if I remember correctly, 3 people were sick. Or there was like 2 people were sick.
No.
And then one person was just not there because she had off. And in this week, I have worked so much. I've never worked as much in my whole life and will probably most likely never do again. But after this week, when I was like, I survived it, and actually we all did pretty well, that was like very, very rewarding. And that's probably after this week, I was like, whatever happens the next 2 or 3 remaining weeks where I'm still there, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally, I've been through the work. It cannot get any worse, and it didn't. It was when I was really like, okay, I'm good at my job. I like my job. It's fun. If this would have been
That's
my experience
amazing.
from the get go, it would have been a completely different experience.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm gonna say like, of course, the best thing about the internship was the
Link-
people. Yeah, honestly, yes. But yeah, the people
Yeah.
that I met there, 100%. Most insane stories that you have. Do you have any? Well, I'm sure you have insane stories, but maybe
I have to think about that.
maybe in the UK though.
It was my second week, and I was in charge of just setting up the entire website for the entire EU. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. They were at a fair in Germany, actually. But because I joined their team pretty spontaneously, they couldn't vouch for my tickets anymore. And like, you have to get the tickets really early. And it was fine. But I literally texted the intern and she didn't text back. And I sent her a voice note and I was crying. I was bawling. I was so like, oh my God. It was so awful. I have to send you the voice note later. I was crying. We figured it out. It all went well. Like, I think the next day I understood. They didn't really teach me, but I'm not blaming them. They were like, do you feel fine with doing that? I was like, yes. Should have thought about it more than once, maybe. I got jizz. It was fine. And it was a lot of fun once I understood it. But yeah, when I came back, they were like, are you all right? How was it? Like, they were very, very sensitive. And
you were like, it's horrible.
that has never happened to me, that I lost it at work. But I think they were really concerned that I couldn't do anything. And then I showed them what I could do. And they were like, okay. But yeah, it's insane. But it was insane for me that I had that much responsibility. That was for the UK website, for the Germany website, France, Spain, Italy. Mind you, I speak English and German. So I just had translations where I was like, I don't know if they're right.
No parlez-vous pas?
No, Spanish, like I could handle a little, but one specific for products, I don't understand it anymore. Like, I'm done. I think the most insane stories are just how much responsibility I had, and people were just like, yeah, just do it. And I'm like, those are human beings, and you're just leaving me alone. But I don't really have any insane stories. What about you? I know that you're gonna come up, like, you're gonna have such crazy ones.
I do have a like best experience that I just remembered, so I'm gonna add that real quick.
Please do.
When I was still waitering, so I was not in the guest department. My friend was working in the guest department though, and she was in charge of the cruises. So my hotel had like these cruises where they would play ABBA on the way back.
No fucking way.
Because she liked me. She was like, the captain of the ship said that he should join the cruise one time, so that because he's the person who should recommend it to the guests. And if you don't do it, you don't know exactly what you're recommending, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, well, can I bring a friend? And he was like, sure. And so I was the friend. I was like, oh my God, I feel so special. And that was also at the beginning of this friendship. Like it was
Friendship or internship?
both. Both in this case. So it was early May. And she asked me and I was like, oh my God, I feel so special. And then we went on this cruise together, drank champagne. That was, but still, champagne with the guests, and some of those guests I was literally in charge of for breakfast. And I was like, "Hi." We went on the ship on this cruise, got like the full tour, and then when we went back, they played the ABBA music, and we were singing loudly to every song,
Aww.
making sort of like the vibe for all the guests. And I feel like the guests at first were a bit confused because they knew her and me, and we were like employees, and they were like,
Yeah. What are you doing here?
that's so weird. But then once they realized, okay, they're here to have fun, it was the best. It was literally the
Aw.
best.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Most in stories.
Sound like you almost choked there.
Well, the very first insane story is waking up and not having water. And I don't mean like hot water, I mean like any kind of water.
Mhm.
So I couldn't take a shower. I could not use a toilet. I could not.
You couldn't use the toilet for quite a while.
And we had no water in the kitchen either. And then a few days later, all the fridge stopped working. So basically, the only thing I had in this flat was a bed that 2 months later had bed bugs.
No fucking way. You were
Yeah.
still there while they had it?
No, I was in the other accommodation already. But yeah, that was like first insane story. Then
Your roommate?
my roommate was just crazy, but I wouldn't call it insane necessarily. I do
Okay.
remember her one time coming home at like 7 a.m. in the morning.
When to work?
Had off that day. Still, she didn't text me, and I was like worried because usually she texts when
Yeah.
she's like out. And she came home at 7 a.m. and I woke up immediately because I was like, where were you all night? And she was so tipsy still. She was like, I just came from a night swim. And she was alone at the beach swimming from like 5 until 6 and then took the first bus up. And I was like, okay.
That's like a murder story. Are you kidding me?
She was so crazy. But like insane story. An insane guest story that I will share is one guest was texting me about a cruise they want to do, which they organized privately, not through us, but they wanted to have food on this cruise.
Mhm.
Yacht, probably. They texted me a list that was so long on WhatsApp, I had to scroll for a while to get like the full list. And basically my job is to send it to the person responsible, and then they will manage it, sort of. And all I'm doing is telling them, yes, it's possible or not possible. And like
Yeah,
if
got
I
it.
need further details, I'm there for that.
Yeah.
So I sent it to
That's so dumb. Why? Yeah, never mind.
so I sent it to my supervisor, or like not supervisor. I sent it to like the
The
department manager,
responsible? Yeah,
sorta. And the message came in at like 5. I sent it immediately, asking my colleague what I should do with this message because I already knew like this was going to be insane. And then the department manager replied to it at 9:30, so 30 minutes before my shift ended. And it was supposed to be for the next day. And he replied not via email. He replied because he was in the room next to us, and I just heard him like, yo, what the fuck is this? And I was like, oh, he just got the message. Yeah. And then he came out and he was like, are
So
they crazy?
relatable.
And I was like, yeah, it could not be done. Just straight up could not be done. That's the story. And also in like my very last week, I got a message from French people, and they were like, we have a question. So on all the menus, there is the expression a la carte, and we want to know what that means. And I'm like, you are French? You don't know what a la carte means?
Oh my god.
The mistake.
Are you kidding me?
And I looked up how much they are paying for their stay also. And the second question, like the follow-up question they had was, do we have to pay extra for the food? I'm not gonna tell how much they paid it is. I mean, I can tell you afterwards, but it's an all-inclusive hotel for all guests. That's all I'm gonna say.
So they have to pay the food extra, I think.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't want to work with people in the long term.
I also had insanely nice guests,
Yeah.
but I also had
That's
guests
true.
where I was like,
It's always like this.
how? In general, I would say that the deluxe guests were overall very, very nice. I never really had an
Mhm.
issue with any of them. I remember
That's
like only
great.
like 3 times where people were like rude. But even then, I was faced by it. Because I'm on the computer, I'd see them face to face.
Mhm.
And on the computer, it's like, thank you for your concern. We will reach out to you once we have found a solution. You know, this
The
kind of
standard
like, yeah,
phrases,
literally.
yeah.
It was so much copy pasta.
Yeah. Copy pasta.
What we do need to do though, I don't want to forget it,
Yay!
so that the structure is upheld this time.
Do you not want to take it this time? You sure?
Yeah, because I wrote down everything. I mean, we
Okay.
gathered them together, of course, but take one for next week's topic. Not next week's topic, next
I'll
episode's
take one
topic.
from the bottom now.
The topic for the next episode that
Ooh.
will be themed is...
Zillennials, between millennials and Gen Z.
I love that topic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
I
nice.
consider myself Gen Z, period.
Yeah, and I consider
Topic
myself
episode done.
a zillennial, although I
Yes.
have more millennial traits. Do you know this meme from Robertson where he's like, I'm Gen Z? And for Lawrence is like, no, you're literally not. And he's like, literally I am. Yeah,
Yes.
that's sort of like us. All right.
Alrighty.
See you soon. Talk soon. And
Enjoy your day.
next episode is
Drink
going to
some
be
water.
2007.
Eat some food or some snacks.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We should encourage that in the beginning.
All right. See ya soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.